those world-famous Ikarus city transit buses, especially their articulated models. At one time quite ubiquitous from Hungary to Russia, and even an attempt to secure an American market share. But there was one type of bus that was missing from their lineup. This is the story of the Bikarus, the lone double-decker Ikarus. Hi, this is Jeffrey. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar with Ikarus, the famed Hungarian bus manufacturer. Their 200 series buses are extremely well known, and over 200,000 of them were built between 1968 and 2002. Now, even though Ikarus built hundreds of thousands of buses, there was only one Ikarus double-decker. Yes, just one. In fact, it really wasn't even built by Ikarus. It was a combination of two Ikarus single-deckers that were combined into one by another entity. It's a really fascinating story. So, let's get started in learning about the Bikarus double-decker bus. Throughout Hungary, the classic Ikarus accordion buses are well remembered by those who are old enough, as well as the younger generation of enthusiasts. But what may not be so well known is that an experiment took place to develop an alternative to the articulated type bus. The result was the double-decker Mávaut Ikarus Type 556. It's also said that double-decker buses were as rare in Hungary as a white raven. The increase in the number of people transported per unit area caused serious headaches for bus designers, who were now given a clear task: to raise a then-produced Ikarus by one floor instead of using articulated trailers. This was eventually achieved, but its height of over 4 meters severely limited its use. Nevertheless, it was a very interesting, one-of-a-kind vehicle. At the time, the design of a double-decker city bus from Ikarus was still a hypothetical solution. City planners wanted to use such buses to relieve congestion, especially following the example of British and German models, since double-decker buses could transport more people than single-deckers, and they took up less space on urban streets than articulateds. The planned Mávaut double-decker bus was to be made from two Ikarus Type 556 vehicles, with the license numbers GA8116 and GA8117 that were in operation in Budapest. It was created based on the plans of the Mávaut Technical Department in the Mávaut Pecs body shop under the leadership of Chief Engineer Laszlo Enyedi and Engineer Sandor Nagy. The lower part was made from one Type 556 bus and the upper part from the other. Therefore, this special vehicle was popularly called the Bikarus. According to press reports of the time, the bus was ready for its first test runs in November of 1968. The official press presentation and unveiling then took place on December 21st, 1968 in Budapest. Some in the media initially referred to it as the first Hungarian double-decker bus, but in fact, the first double-decker was manufactured as early as 1912 by the Marta factory in Arad. Inside the bus, there are two staircases, and the passenger flow is one-way, with mainly 2x2 seating. At the rear platform under the stairs, there is a conductor's seat with a lighted panel showing how many seats are still empty on the second deck. On the second deck, the passage through the cabin was led along the sides, but its height was somewhat low and uncomfortable, hence no standees permitted. As for the seats, they were placed in the middle of the saloon in a sawtooth pattern. Although today's double-decker buses are low-floor, or at least partially low-floor, this was not the case with the Mávaut double-decker bus, as the Ikarus 556 was not originally designed that way. Now, let's take a look at some of the basic specifications of the Ikarus Bikarus double-decker bus. Number 1, length is 11 meters. Number 2, width is 2.5 meters. Number 3, height is 4.25 meters with a standing height inside the top deck of 1.72 meters. Number 4, passenger capacity is 36 seats on the lower deck and 28 seats on the upper deck. Another 36 standees are allowed on the lower deck, bringing the total to 100. Number 5, engine is the Shepell DL619 with 6 cylinders, generating 180 horsepower. And finally, number 6, top speed is 64 kilometers per hour. During the first test drives, it was explained to the press that although the prototype still uses the DL619 Shepell engine developed by the Vehicle Development Institute, the production units would be equipped with more reliable MAN licensed Raba D2156 diesel engines. The oil-powered steering reportedly made it easier to steer than a car. Despite the high body height, the bus had great stability in turning thanks to the larger air springs used in the bus's construction. However, while there was much enthusiasm, the double-decker concept intended for Budapest quickly failed. The oversized 4.25-meter high bus was unusable due to tram and other overhead wires, as well as many overpasses. So, after a nearly 3,000-kilometer pilot run in the capital, it was transferred to Volán Company, number 12, in Pecs. The Mávaut double-decker made its premiere in the Baranya county seat in early January of 1969. But due to the lengthy tests required, it started revenue service in August of 1969. The bus ran in operation until June of 1976, where the Bikarus transported passengers between Kossuth Square and Feregi in Pecs, and then between Kossuth Square and Yerevan-Város. It was then used in the Volán Center in Balaton Vilagos until 1982. There, it was finally dismantled and was about to be scrapped. However, it was saved from the scrapper's torch by a Mr. Victor Marosan, who bought the vehicle. He owned the bus until 2001, when he sold it to Mr. Gabor Antal. In 2009, he sold it for the possibility of its reconstruction in connection with the Pecs Cultural Capital Project. However, nothing came of it, so Mr. Antal bought it back in 2012. The fate of the Mávaut double-decker bus was finally resolved when the Volán Bus Company bought it with the aim of restoring it and later operating it as a nostalgic bus. Thankfully, this plan did come true, and this unique bus has now been rebuilt to its original as-new condition. The vehicle is a real curiosity because although it was planned to be mass-produced, that plan never came to fruition and was the only Ikarus double-decker ever produced. A white raven, indeed. And so there it is, the story of Bikarus, what is probably the only Ikarus double-decker bus ever built. Now, I have a feeling that someone may yet come up with another Ikarus double-decker bus. So if you do know of another one, just let us know in the comments because it would be quite interesting to take a look at. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at Bikarus, what may yet be the only Ikarus double-decker bus ever built. And as always, thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.